Hello, welcome to a new video. In this video, we will be covering the topic control statement, which is the chapter 14. And in today's video, we will be watching what are the statements and what is the meaning of null statement, compound, and conditional statements, how they are different from each other. And again, let's start with statements. So first one, we have already seen how to write some programs using C++ structure. And once we learn this chapter, we will be able to differentiate between statement and a compound statement, simple statement and a compound statement. Then we will be able to learn the conditional statements and their uses, that is if, else if, and all these things. Then we will be able to see loop statement that will be covered in coming video. This will be covered in the coming video. Differentiate between while and do loop, then identify jump statements, then how to exit from the program. And what is a control statement? Control statement allows the flow of the program to a particular place based on the given choice or the condition. It can be conditional or it can be unconditional also. So we will be seeing conditional one in this video. We also call it as decision-making statements. We will be able to see through the diagram given here. These are decision-making. We have to use if else. In that we have got these many options: if else, if, nested if, and they have different syntax that also we will see today. And switch statement, how this switch works, and some programs based on this. So before that, we have to know what a statement is. So statements are the instructions that are given to the computer to perform any kind of action. Whatever you write in the program, based on that, the action will take place and you will get an output of the program accordingly. So we also call it as statements as the smallest executable unit. You can see here, they are the smallest executable unit within a C program. We call them as statements. Always statements are terminated by a semicolon. So for example, you might have seen in the last video, cout hello world. We have given this and then we were ending it with a semicolon. So this statement always ends with a semicolon. Statements can be divided into many types. So the first one, we can say it is compound statement. Compound statement is a grouping of statement in which each individual statement ends with a semicolon. Group of statement is called block. So you have got, for example, you have got a cout statement, then you have got an increment statement, then you have got again printing something, again inputting something. So these are combination of so many things inside a set of block. So this we can call it as compound statement. Together so many actions are being taking place. Next one is null statement. Null statement means you don't have something written as an expression, but it ends with a semicolon. So nothing is there inside, or an empty statement is known as null statement. For example, this is a for loop. This we will be seeing in the later portion, but then we are just seeing how this works. So this is statement, and usually it follows some set of statements inside, but here, since it is a null statement, we are just enclosing it with the semicolon without writing anything. So that can be an example. Next one is conditional statement. So the main thing is conditional statement. Based on some condition, the flow of the program goes to a particular place, or based on the condition an output is given to you. So these are the statements used for them. So we will be seeing one by one what is if, what is if else, what is if else if, again else, nested if, and switch. In the previous program, we have already seen how to write basic program to read two numbers. But now, like 2 and 3, if I can read these values. I can add them and I can display them. So this much I can do using my simple C++ program structure. But if I have all these things, I can use some condition, like if I'm entering a value, any value if I'm entering, if it is greater than 5, if it is more than 5, then I have to do some set of action, like I have to do addition to that number. Some number should get added to that. And if my number or the entered number is less than 0, a negative number, then I have to do some other set of action. So these are based on the conditions. That is where these statements come into play. First one is if statement. Let's see how this if statement works. So syntax of if statement is, if a condition is given to you and you have to write statements that follows this condition. If this is true, these statements can be executed. So this is the syntax. So you will learn when you do a program in this one. And what is the flow diagram? Shows you any condition. If it is true, the following statement will be executed. If it is false, the statements that follows after that statement, just after the if, will be executed. Next one is if else statement. So how is the syntax of if else statement? Inside if, you have a condition. If this condition is true, this will be executed. This statement 1 will be executed. If this condition is false, then it will go to the else portion, and whatever is the statement following that will be executed. And later, whatever is out following those statement 3 will be executed later. So that is the difference. Here you have got a condition. If the condition says it is true, one statement is executed. If that is not true, the other statement following inside the else part will be executed. That is statement 2. And anyone will be executed out of this, and then it will go to the following statements. This is how if else work. More clear it will be when you see a C++ program using if else statements. Next one is a program. So the program says you have to write a program that will print the greatest of two numbers. So first, before doing this program, you have to understand what you have to do in this particular program. So the steps has to be explained. You can write program in your own terms, or you can see this example too. For that, first step is, so this program, what are the steps included? It says print the greatest of two numbers. That means you are given with two numbers. For example, 2 and 5. Two numbers are there and you have to print which is greater. So for example, the steps included are, first you have to read two numbers. Since the numbers are not given, if you enter any number, it has to read. So to read, first step is using the cn. Cn helps in reading. So I will just write it down here. First step is read two numbers. By meaning reading is inputting two numbers. That is the first step. Then what is the next step? After reading, you have to compare both numbers. Now the numbers are with you and they get stored to two variables, maybe a and b, 2 and 5. Now you have to compare both of them. So comparing can be done using this if statement. So very simply you can just compare if a is greater than b. If a is greater than b, you have to display it. If a is greater than b, display a. So you can use if else. Instead of using if, only if, you can use if else statement. So if, then else. If a is greater than b works, then you have to display a. If this is not true, that means a is not greater than b in our example. So it has to display b this time. And that's the end of the program. It is very easy to understand this. This is the basic outline or logic of the program. And you have to write a program that gives you a proper output. So this same program can be executed, or you can try to write a program all by yourself. The basic step is reading two numbers, comparing them, displaying them. Which one is greater? Already you know what is the structure of C++. Structure of C++ program. Same program we can execute. We have to take online compiler and execute this. Already for a program, you need all these things to work in this compiler. It's an online compiler for C++ program. And then what is our first step? First step is to input two numbers. That means two numbers whose variable or the data type that we are going to use is x and y here in this case. And both are of integer type. And for an understanding to the user, we are displaying a cout message or a display message to enter two numbers, so that when the cursor is blinking there, user will understand what he has to do, and then end the line, and it will go whatever input you want to give, it will go to the next being given through the keyboard. Cin helps in that x and y variables. This is the syntax that already we have seen in the previous video. Now the main thing that we have to use in this program is our if else statement. So how if works? If this is the condition, so condition is x greater than sign y, that we have to check first, and then if that is true, you have to display that the biggest number is, or the bigger number is, that message has to come. Then the actual value that is stored in the variable. If x is the higher one, that message has to come. If that is not working, the other message or the else portion will execute, and then it will show you the message that x is not bigger one, y is the bigger one. So the bigger number is, and the y variable will be displayed there. Let's check whether this program is working or not. So I have to click on the run button after writing the program. So I have copied and pasted the same program from your textbook, and some mistakes or errors will be there that we'll be correcting here. This program is working. So they are asking enter two numbers. Since we have written this message here, we have to enter two numbers. So we can take the same input 2, and then I can give another input 5, and according to our program, or according to the requirement of the program, it should appear 5 is bigger, or the bigger number is 5. That should be the output. Let's see what it displays. The bigger number is 5. So it is showing the number, bigger number is 5. That message is displayed and this is executed. If this statement is not correct, so else portion is being executed and this output is shown to you. You can see here between this is and 5 no gap is there or no space is there. To have the space, more space, let's click here. After is, give a space before the quotation, because whatever you give in the quotation, that will appear as such in your output. So then again we can run it. Same number or any other number you can take. I can give a bigger number, 16 and 78. So bigger number is 78. That is the output that will come this time. So like this you have to write a basic C++ program using if-else statement. Let's go to next. Program is about printing the greatest of 3 numbers. Now you have 3 numbers and you have to use multiple if-else statement. So how does that work? We can see. So the logic of the program is like this. First you have to read 3 numbers or input 3 numbers, and then let all the 3 numbers be ABC. Compare first and second number, that is one method. Compare these two, and whatever is the bigger number, store it in L variable. So you have to also read 3 number plus this variable L, and whichever is the bigger number gets stored in L, either A or B. Then it has to be compared with C using another if-else statement and display accordingly whether A or B is bigger or C. For example, you can see here, consider you have 3 numbers 10, 20 and 30. These are the 3 numbers given to you. So first A, B and C variables are there. Using if statement, compare this A and B, and after comparing, store it in L variable. So which one will be the larger one? 20, or the B variable. So now L has 20. After this 20, compare 20 L and C. When you compare both of them, which one is larger? 30. So 30 is larger than 20. So this output will be the largest and you have to display this. That is what happens in this program. The same program, I have made some changes to this program because sometimes the spacing or sometimes the quotation is not working here. So I'm changing according to that, and sometimes end line is not used. So that way I'll change a little bit is changed here. So this is the program that output is coming for. Let's run this program. Enter the numbers. So what are the numbers? Let's take 10, 20 and 30. Any number you can enter and then press enter again, and greatest number is 30 according to this. So again space is not there. You can give a bit of space here because the statement is coming from here. You can give here also. Again run, take some other output. So the output is shown to you, and here you can see another variable L is being declared here because you need one more variable L to store which one is greater out of them. 3 numbers are read in this statement. If condition whether x and y is greater. Whichever is greater, L variable should take the value. So here, if x is greater than y, L will have the value x. If not, L will take the value of y. Any one of them gets executed. Then comparison go to the third variable, that is z, and the extra variable that you have taken. Let's check once more. Now I'm taking 100, 2 and 49. So in this one, comparison is happening for first two number, that is 100 and 2. 100 is the largest one, or 100 and 2, when they are being compared, L stores the value 100 based on this condition. Let's check what is the output. So here 100 is being stored with L from this first statement, and this 100 is compared to Z, that is 49. So 100 and 49 is again compared. So here this statement works here and this statement works here. So that output is shown to you here. Hope you understood this. If you have doubts and queries, please mail to the mail ID given in the about of the channel. Next one is nested if. Combination of so many ifs. So how it works, if any one condition inside the curly bracket, this starts again, one more if you can include, then you can write statements based on this, and then you can close it. So that also is possible. If one condition, again inside that you can put one more, and again if you want inside that also you can put one more. That's possible. That is nested if condition. Let's check the flow diagram how it is. Condition 1, if it is true, goes to the next condition. Again, consider this is one if, this is another if, and then what statements follow it, that will be done. If this is true, and if it is the same thing, if, don't think the next if as complicated, because if this is true, it goes inside the block. If else if, again else. So this is also possible. That means you can see here, if any one condition is given, if that works, this statement is executed. For this for this, if one else is here and this condition is executed, if the first one is not true, then these are the statements following it. And the third one is else, and the statement, the final statement. Condition true, the statement is done and it ends, or it goes to the end of the block. If that is false, again inside that you can place one more condition. Again this goes to true and false. If true, this statement. If false, this statement, and then it goes to the end of the program. And here you can see these are the flow chart, and this flow chart uses specific kind of boxes for each. Decision making, these kind of boxes are used, and for the statements, these kind of boxes are used. You have got start and stop too, so that is not shown. So next program is the same, to find out greatest of three numbers, but using nested if this time. Nested if else. So what is nested if else? You can put an if statement that follows condition. If the condition is true, again if else statement can be placed inside, or this, for this if you need another else, and inside that you have different conditions. So that basics we are going to use here. So let's check. In this case, what is done here, three numbers are inputted as such. First thing is they are checking with x and y. So for example, if it is 10, 20 and 30, what is being done, 10 and 20 is being compared, and if x is greater than y, if x is greater than y, what will happen? You have to check whether x is greater than z or not. But in this case, this is not true. This statement is not true. So automatically it goes to the else portion. Else portion, what it does, it is opposite. That means y is greater than x. That is true. Y greater than x. 20 is greater than 10. So then this goes for checking with 30. That is y and z is being compared in the next process. So here, since y is greater, y goes for checking with z, and if again y is greater, the greatest number will be y displayed. And if this is not true, it automatically goes to this else. That means z is greater than y. That means z is the greatest variable, or the value that is stored in z is the greatest one. So the same procedure is used using nested if else. So here three variables are there. First check these two and then compare it with third inside that if. Here if you see, if our value is 22 and 2 and 10, first these two get compared, x and y. If x is greater than y, this is true. In that case, what will happen, it will go inside, the control of the program goes here, and then it gets compared with z. That means 22 gets compared with 10, and after that what happens, again it will find that 22 is greater, so 22, the x variable value is being displayed. And here the greatest number is z. So if this is not true, this thing is not true, automatically this will be true. So z will be displayed in that case. Let's check it using the program. Just to make a better understanding, I'm just dividing it into three different portions. Here if statement following this if and else, and then if is here, else is here, and these are the statements following else. Let's check. 22, 2, these are the three values. So first a has 22, b has 2 and 10, and then for x and y, x, y and z. So x is 22, y is 2 and z is 10. Compare 22 and 2, which one will be greater? X will be greater. So automatically the control goes to x is greater than y. Since this is true, control goes here and it checks with z. This 22 and 10 will be compared. Again it is true, so this statement is being displayed to you. (22) is the output, so this portion is executed. A program using nested if condition that will enter total marks and assign the grades according to the following. So for the value you have to input from the keyboard is the marks, and based on the marks it has different conditions, and that based on those conditions you have to display the grades for the student. using nested if. So here what is done, first marks has to be entered through the keyboard, that is being done here, and then go for comparison. If marks greater than 90, display it is A grade. If not, if it is not greater than 90, the other condition is less than 90. So less than 90, again another range is there, right? So 80 to 90. So inside that else portion you have to place this condition, that is greater than 90. Okay, and if it is greater than 90, and obviously here it is greater than 90, but this is less than 90 but greater than 80, that is the condition. Since we are using nested if, so inside the else you have to place the if and then display accordingly. So work on this program also and find out whether you're getting the correct output or not. If you have queries, mail to the address given, mail ID given. Next is switch statement. How this switch works. You can also do this program using switch statement, but try this using nested if. So since it may be a little bit more confusing using nested if, so another one thing is there, using switch statement. How this switch works, let's see. It helps in multiple branching. Syntax of switch looks like this. Switch, you have to write an expression here, anything, any variable you can put here, or you can write an expression here. So then this value gets compared for each case, any constant. For example, if grade, if you want to check the grade has to be here, and constant is whatever is the value for the grade, you can substitute here, and then the statement that follows, that means what output you want to see. And break, what is the use of break? Usually in switch statement this break is used. Why? Because after finishing this portion of the program, it don't have to continue to the next line. It can come out of this switch statement and go to the next statement followed in the program. So here you have got different cases. For example, if example can be check for A, E, I, O, U. These are vowels. A, E, I, O, U are the vowels. So any character that is being entered, if it is A, E, I or U, I, O or U, it has to display the message as vowel, otherwise not a vowel. So it takes multiple options. If, for example, if I enter B, it checks first if it is A, I, E, I, O, U. If nothing is matching, B is a default statement, so it goes to this default statement displayed here, whatever is displayed there. So not a vowel, maybe you can write it's not a vowel, and that message will be displayed to you. This is how switch works, very easy. Switch syntax, you have to know any statements and then give each statement options or the branching given, case 1, case 2, case 3, and the statements following them. Can be one line statement or can be 2 or 3 line, and you also have to end the case by using break for each. This is an example, same example of vowel, how vowel work. So first thing is you have to read the vowel. For that, use ch. Any variable you can use. Ch is a variable which is of type character, so you can only enter one letter. This is, so char is the letter type. Enter a character, read this. How you read variable, same way read this character and then put it inside your switch. So switch ch, you have to compare this ch for each value. That means ch is equal to a. This is what you are doing. If you do in an if statement, you can write this if and similar way. So here in the switch, this is the syntax. Case the first value and put it inside single quotes and write the following statement. If it is a, yes, vowel, break it here, semicolon. Again for e, all these things has to be shown. So any one of them will be executed, not all, but all the options are available. If nothing matches, like I told you, if it is b, if what you enter is b, nothing matches, no option matches with that, so it automatically goes to the default statement that is given here, not a vowel. Okay, so here you can see only small letter or uppercase or lowercase letters are shown. So if you enter a, b, I, these are also vowel. So that case also you can include here, like case uppercase A, case uppercase, sorry, not B, E, like uppercase O, I, and U also. If you don't want to write anything, you can simply put here semicolon. That makes it as a null statement, as we have discussed already. Don't write anything, just put a semicolon. It makes it as null statement. So I'm entering uppercase A. It's not a vowel because here uppercase values are not given, so you can include that also. Let's check for other values. Enter. So it shows the value based on this first case A. We can check for others also. For example, enter F, not a vowel. This default is being executed in this case. So this is another program of switch where you have to enter the grade A, B, or C, or D. Based on that, the basic salary of the person be displayed. Check this program, execute and find out the output. Thank you for watching.